Channel. Now we are going to learn the streptococci. Actually, first we need to know some basics of streptococci. That is, it was discovery of scientists by Bilorith and Eryplesius, and also oxygen isolated from the acute abscesses, and Rosen batch isolated the cocci from suppurative license in human beings and named them as Streptococcus pyogenes. So the name Streptococcus pyogenes is strepto means chain forming, coccus means round forms, and pyogenes means pus forming. So the streptococci are actually divided into type of based on hemolysis. They divided into alpha hemolytic, beta hemolytic, and gamma. Alpha means green zone around their colonies, means they're partially making lysis of RBC, and the beta means a clear zone of beta hemolysis. Here you can see beta hemolysis means completely destruction of RBC, and gamma hemolysis, and they do not form any hemolysis, so the culture media remains as it is. So first we need to know this basic thing, and based on the oxygen requirement, the streptococci divided into obligate anaerobes and facultative or aerobic. Obligate anaerobe means they doesn't require any oxygen. Aerobic or facultative anaerobes means they may be both aerobic in the aerobic conditions and anaerobic conditions. So let us see classification of streptococci. According to antigenic difference in the C carbohydrate, the beta hemolytic streptococci are arranged into A to U. So this is important. And the group A streptococci, that is pyogenes, are one of the, this group A streptococci are also known as gas. But one of the most important human pathogens. They are the most frequent bacterial cause of pharyngitis and a very common cause of skin infection. They mostly cause the pharyngitis, that is streptopharyngitis. Classification of streptococci, there are group B and group C and other. Group B streptococci is also known as Egalectia, which colonize the genital tract of some women and can cause neonatal meningitis and also sepsis. So group C, F, G, H, K to U are streptococci infrequently cause the human disease, so not of important to in pathogenicity. So here you can see, first we will see the streptococci morphology. Actually the streptococci are the spherical gram positive. Gram positive means they have a thick peptidoglycan, so they stain the purple and arranged in chains or pairs. They are non-motile and do not form any spores, that is non-sporous. Form the capsule in early stage of culture. Why are capsule? For the virulence, that is to avoid the phagocytosis in the host. And the culture we use it is enriched medium, that is blood agar. Mainly it contains the sheep blood or the solid media which produces small 0.5 to 10 millimeters diameter, a translucent grey or greyish white granular colonies. You can see greyish white colonies with poorly defined margins. Some streptococcal strains use hemolysis on blood agar. So if it does hemolysis, then it does the beta hemolysis, that is complete hemolysis. In sugar broth medium, grow in the fine granular precipitations on walls of bottom of the tube. Here you see the bottom of tube some granules like structure. Need 5 to 10% of extra carbon dioxide for optimal growth, and the temperature is 37 degrees, and they need the blood agar for sure. Have capsules of groups B, C and D are varying, that the group B and D have the polysaccharide capsule, but the group C has the hyaluronic acid capsule, so that we need to remember. And next, coming to the biochemical reactions, it ferments the sugar with the acid. So they are not lysed by the bile. This distinguishes from the pneumonia, because pneumonia is bile soluble, it is non-soluble, and they are catalase negative, whereas staphylococci are catalase positive. If you remember, catalase negative means they can't produce the catalase, that is they don't convert the hydrogen peroxide to water. Dinolene naphthalamide, that is PYR test is positive. Genic structure, that is nothing but it contains the C carbohydrates and also M proteins. So what are these C carbohydrates? That determines the group of beta hemolytic streptococci. It is located in the cell wall, and its specify is determined by an amino sugar. And M protein is the most important virulence factor and determines the type of group A streptococci it produced from the outer surface of the cell and hampers by ingestion by phagocytosis, that is antiphagocytosis. So this M protein is mainly acting as an antiphagocytic. This M protein actually is extracted by the acid extraction method, and M typic is done by mainly capillary precipitation. So this we can remember easily. Toxics and invasive enzymes. So the exotoxics are erythrogenic toxins and streptolysin. This again divided into streptolysin O and streptolysin S. And the invasive enzymes are hyaluronidase, streptokinase and streptodornase. So why these are produced is that to escape from the host body so that they can easily lysis them and they can easily invade the cell tissues and finally may also enter the bloodstream and passing is there so that they can easily pass to the other organs. Erythrogenic toxins are which responsible for the rashes in our scarlet fever, and these strains are producing the prophase DNA which code for toxin production, and this is pyrogenic, that is fever causing and also causes immunosuppression, so increase the sensitivity to host to streptococcal toxins, and it is used in Dick test which detects the susceptibility to the scarlet fever. This super antigen causes rash of scarlet, and streptolysin O is an oxygen labile. It is antigenic antibody to ASO and develops after the group A streptococcal infections. So the titer of ASO antibody can be important in diagnosis of rheumatic fever. So in virulence factors we have the streptolysin SLS, that is oxygen stable. It is not antigenic but it is responsible for the beta hemolysis. So whatever the streptococcus which is undergoing the complete hemolysis in a culture is because of this streptolysin when colonies grow on the surface of a blood agar plate. And next the hyaluronidase which degrades the hyaluronic acid as it names is, which is a ground substance of subcutaneous tissue. So it also facilitates the spread and it is antigenic and bodies to it formed after the infection. And next coming to streptokinase is the one which converts plasminogen into plasmin. So as the plasmin is formed, it dissolves the fibrin, that is it stops the clot formation and thus the thrombi cannot be formed. So it is nothing but used in the coronary arteries patient because it can remove away the clots. And the streptodornase is nothing but it degrades the DNA in exudates or necrotic tissue. So the clinical findings which we have found is pyogenic diseases, that is nothing but pus forming diseases in pharyngitis, in pharynx, and cellulitis, and toxigenic diseases, that is scarlet fever, toxic shock syndrome, and immunological diseases are rheumatic fever, acute glomerulonephritis. So in your diagram you can see the pharyngitis, cellulitis, endocarditis. So sometimes when this reaches the bloodstream and also enters the endocard and cardiac system and where it can form the infection. And here's a erysipelas, it is an infection on the upper dermis and superficial lymphatics. The tonsillar abscess and strawberry tongue, that is nothing but rashy tongue, and the rash is scarlet fever, and also here examples of some scars. So streptococcal infection, those are like the acute glomerulonephritis. Where our body gets confused that whether it is our own cell or not. So here our antibody attacks our own cell and this leads to acute glomerulonephritis, which typically occurs 2 to 3 weeks after skin infection by certain group A streptococcal types in children. Especially after we expect to have the acute glomerulonephritis. The disease is initiated by antigen antibody complex on the glomerular basement membrane. And the post streptococcal non-suppurative diseases are acute rheumatic fever, that is approximately 2 weeks after pharyngitis. The rheumatic fever is due to an immunological reaction between the cross-reacting antibodies to certain streptococcal M proteins and antigens of the joint, heart and brain tissue. So this is important. This is also because our body thinks as antigen and attacks our own cell. So this is rheumatic fever. And treatment and prevention is that group A streptococcal infections can be treated with either penicillin G or amoxicillin, but neither rheumatic fever nor AGN patients benefit from penicillin. So rheumatic fever can be prevented by penicillin can't treat rheumatic fever, it can be prevented by the prompt treatment of group A streptococcal pharyngitis with penicillin. And there are no vaccine available against any streptococci except pneumonia. So this is important, only the S pneumonia has two types of vaccines, but other than that any streptococcus still now doesn't have vaccines because of it different ability to produce difference in the M proteins and also its antigenic properties. So our body gets confused and even we are not able to find out a specific vaccine for the Streptococcus till now. Streptococcus pyogenes are delicate organisms, so they should be they can be easily destroyed by heat and also by antiseptics. So they're resistant to crystal violet, sensitive to many antibiotics and does not develop resistance, and is sensitive to bacteriacin, which helps in identification of pyogenes. Among enzymes there is also NADS, that is may have the leukotoxic effect. So this is one more important point. And the infections caused are divided into suppurative and non-suppurative. In suppurative we have respiratory tract infections, skin infections, genital infections and other infections like otitis media, septicemia, others. And in non-suppurative especially we have the rheumatic fever and glomerulonephritis. We have discussed it. Laboratory diagnostics, here it is not mentioned, so this is one more thing which is important. In laboratory diagnostic of pyogenes, the suppurative infections is made by culture, while non-suppurative complications is done by antibody detection. And the specimens used are blood in septicemia and in non-suppurative complications, and pus is used in pyogenic infections, CSF in meningitis, throat swab and sputum in respiratory infections, vaginal swab in genital infections, and other samples by the appropriate positions in sterile conditions according to the disease. And the transport is by swab should be transported in Pike's media. So the media is Pike's media. And the microscopic examination, so it is important in pus and cerebrospinal fluid and also smears of throat swab, vaginal swab, whether the bacteria is present or not. So CSF wet preparation contains the plenty of pus cells. Gram stain pair contains the gram positive cocci with the pus cells, and the fluorescent antibody technique for the detection of bacteria by using fluorescent tagged antibody, and has more sensitivity than the gram stain. And the culture we use, we know it's a blood agar, and the selective media can be the crystal violet blood agar and also the PNF media. So growth is promoted by extra 5 to 10% of carbon dioxide, and they are actually in the culture we can see them as small semicircular convex and with beta hemolysis. And next, the biochemical reactions, let us recall them, that is a catalase negative, bile solubility negative, hydrolysis of pyrrolidiol naphthalamide test, that is PYR test positive, and fermentation of ribose negative. And bacitracin sensitivity, let us know about this, that bacitracin disc with 0.4 mg of this bacitracin is placed on inoculated culture plate of streptococci. So after the 24 hours we observe the zone of inhibition. Wider zone of inhibition is observed only with the Streptococcus pyogenes, but the bactericin sensitivity is helpful for the identification of Streptococcus pyogenes. So the Streptococcus pyogenes is only showing the wider zone of inhibition in this bacitracin. And next, the antibiotic sensitivity testing, that is AST. We use the Cribri disc method with the Muller-Huntington agar and 5% blood using the penicillin and also erythromycin, cephalosporins, tetracycline and fluoroquinones. And the AG detection, that is antigen detection, is by ELISA and agglutination test, and nucleic acid detection by DNA probes. And antibody detection is by passive hemoagglutination in case of streptozyme test, and also RBC are coated with antigen. And anti-streptolysin O test, it is a slide agglutination done quantitatively, so significant titre of 1:2000 more indicates prior streptococcal infection. And anti-deoxyribonuclease B test significant titre. So let us see the treatment. Prophylaxis for the prevention of rheumatic for long-term administration of penicillin in children who have developed early signs of rheumatic fever. So in rheumatic fever we give long term of penicillin. And in case of group B streptococci, species of medical importance comes the Egalticiae, major pathogen in neonates, young children. Infection in neonate may be early or late, and they can also cause infection sometimes in adults as local genital septic lesions and also puerperal sepsis. So identification, we can find them by hippurate hydrolysis positive and CAMP reaction positive. And group D streptococci, that is the species of medical importance, are enterococci and non-enterococci. So the common form is Enterococcus faecalis and others are Enterococcal faecium, Enterococcal durans, Enterococcal aureum. And the pathogens is there urinary tract infections, wound infections, septicemia, peritonitis, biliary tract infections. Actually, they are not mentioned here. I am saying somewhat extra points. And we can identify them by growing in the presence of 40% brine and ability to hydrolyze the esculin. And one more important species comes is Streptococcus viridans. So these features are commensals in mouth and pharynx, and they are alpha hemolysis on blood agar and do not grow on McConkey's agar. And medically important are Streptococcus salivarius, mutans, sanguis, meteora, and milleri. These are the different species. And the pathogenesis, as they said, they are in mouth, so they cause dental caries, endocarditis also in patients with pre-existing cardiac lesions. And the dental caries are most commonly involved, which breakdowns. Here in dental caries we have the mutans species more commonly, which break down the sucrose to acid and dextran, and the acid damages the dentine and dextran binds with the food debris to form the plaques leading to dental caries. And the endocarditis is mainly due to sanguis and meteor species which involved during tooth extraction or other dental positions. They cause transient bacteremia and cause infective endocarditis. And the diagnosis of the infective endocarditis is made by repeated blood cultures. So the treatment is guided by the antibiotic sensitivity test, and some strains may also develop resistance to penicillin. So we need to remember, nowadays all types of bacteria are resistant to penicillin, so new types of antibiotics are going to be used. So this is about that.